Hey there, my name is Brock. I'm from Window Cleaning World, and this is our X-ION Lite RO pure water system. So this unit here has just been finished being built here at our shop, and it's now in for testing, but this is a great opportunity to show you how this unit works. So a quick overview of the unit. We have the silver stainless steel 40-inch RO membrane tube. We have the 6-litre DI tank on the front there. On the back we have the two pre-filters, which are a carbon and then sediment filter. And that is the basic setup of the unit. Part of the unit, we have updated things a little bit. We have all the ports facing out the same side. This port here is your main inlet, so you'd plug your hose from your tap directly into here. This is the RO only water outlet. This is the waste outlet, and this is the DI outlet. So the water will first go in through the water inlet. It'll go through the sediment filter, then through the carbon filter on the back there. The water then travels up this hose to the membrane, up to the top, goes all the way through the unit. It then comes out to this splitter. So this is a recent addition to the system. This is a really easy way to either bypass the DI tank or to use both the RO and the DI tank for filtration. So if we have the valves pointed in this direction, so this is open and then this one is closed, the water will go straight from the RO out to the RO port on the back there. If we have this one closed and then this one open, like so, the water comes out from being filtered by the RO membrane and then goes up here to the DI tank, where it's then filtered by the DeIonising resin. So I'm going to get this all hooked up now and give you a demonstration of how to adjust the flow rate using the waste valve on the back. So I've now got the unit filling up with water. You can see the carbon side filling up because the sediment was already filled up. I haven't got the tap on all the way just for demonstration purposes, but soon we'll see water coming out the waste port here, and the waste is controlled by this valve here. So it's a brass gate valve, and with the initial startup there'll be a bit of air in the system. The water's going to purge all that out. Now I do have it in the configuration so the black DI tank is being bypassed and the water will just come out of the RO port. This is just a demonstration. As you're using a unit, you can choose to connect your own hose to the waste outlet and then route that to a garden or a drain. But as I begin to close this waste valve, you'll start to see the flow here decrease and the flow out of this port here increase. That's basically, you're creating a resistance for the wastewater, and that in turn starts to create more pure water. So that's what you need to do in order to create that pure water so you can clean some windows. So I'm going to start reducing this down. That flow is going down now, and shortly we'll start to see some water come out of the RO only port, and these will have labels on them, so they're easy to identify. There we can see the water's coming out of here, and it is a little bit discolored because this is the very first time this unit has been run. So typically with our testing, we'll run the units for perhaps about half an hour. We make sure there's no leaks, make sure it's operating as it's supposed to. So that's just a visual representation of what's going on when you reduce these valves. If I reduce that all the way, the flow of this comes up a little bit more, this reduces down. One thing that we have done in the inside of this valve is we have drilled a very small hole, and it is a specific size. The reason we do that is you never want to be able to shut this off or block the waste flow 100%. There always needs to be a flow of wastewater. So we've calibrated it with that specific size of a hole that we've drilled in the waste valve. so there's no chance that the outlet can get blocked up. And it basically, what happens is if you do completely block off that waste valve, the membrane inside of the tube here, it can start to foul up because those impurities aren't being flushed away. So the pressure looks a little bit low. That's only because I've barely got this tap open. But if you were using it for window cleaning, you'd want to have a nice short lead hose and then open that tap up for all the flow you can get. So typically if you were using this on the job, you'll have a hose reel coming from the unit and then probably going to a pole tube up to a pole and a brush. So you basically, as I mentioned before, you may want to run a short hose from the waste to run that to a garden or to a drain. And then this would be supplying your hose reel if you're just using RO only water. And you're probably wondering, when would I just need to use RO only water? And if you're in an area where the TDS isn't too high and you can get decent numbers coming from RO only rather than RO and DI, perhaps you want to use it on solar panel cleaning, or you've got a particularly dirty job where you don't want to use pure water the whole time because it's so filthy. You could basically, you have the option to use RO only. And again, it's as simple as flipping the two orange valves on the front, which I'll do that now. I'm going to open this one here to the DI and close this off. Basically that shut the water off from going up here, and now the water's going this way. This tank is now filling up, and shortly we'll start to see water coming out of this valve. There we go, we've got nice flow coming out of the brush, the DI tank there. So again, our water has gone in through the pre-filters. The water is now going up and then back down through that membrane. We've then diverted it to go through the black DI tank. So at the end of the job, if you're all done, the way to flush the membranes out after you're done is to go ahead and open this valve all the way. And what that's going to do is give the membrane a nice flush. You can, if you do have a little bit of flow coming out of the DI tank, you can then switch these back over just so you're not excessively using any DI resin. So that's flushing now. And if you have a handheld TDS meter, what you want to look for is you want to test the water coming out of the unit, and you also want to know what the water is going into it. So once the water coming out of the waste, as it is now, once it is about the same TDS as the water going into the unit, then you know the RO membrane is flushed. So it's helpful at the start of the job, before you even run the machine, to just test the supply water you have. Keep that number in mind, because after you finish the job, you'll notice if you test that straight away after just opening that valve, those TDS numbers will be quite high. But after you've flushed it for an amount of time, and it can be very quick, it can be as little as a minute, test that TDS coming out of the waste again. And once it's about the same or close to the water going into the unit, you know your membranes are flushed and you're ready to pack up that unit. If you have any questions about operating this unit or any other ones, please always feel free to call us at the shop or send us an email. Also, if you'd like to, you can leave a comment on this video and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. See you next time.